Welcome. Today is Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. The time is now 7:04 p.m. I'm going to call this council regular session to order. If you will please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So to start our evening off, I am going to be going through a City of St. Helens proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is October in 2025, the year we're in. Whereas October is recognized as a National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, a campaign that first began in 1981 by the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, a Day of Unity, to connect battered women's associates across the country. And whereas domestic violence is a pervasive problem affecting people of all genders, ages, ethnicities, religions, and economic statuses in every community. And whereas domestic violence can manifest as a pattern of physical, emotional, verbal, and/or sexual abuse, as well as threats, intimidation, isolation, or financial control. And whereas 1 in 3 women, 1 in 9 men, and more than half of all trans and non-binary individuals will experience domestic or sexual violence in their lifetimes. And whereas exposure to domestic violence can have a long-term negative effects to our children, and places them in higher risk of experiencing further risks or further violence. And whereas the purple ribbon serves as a symbol of courage to survivors, a reminder of the lives lost to abuse, and the community's commitment to ending domestic violence. And whereas local domestic violence service providers and advocacy organizations offer essential assistance and support to survivors and their family. And whereas all members of the community, including government agencies, law enforcement, healthcare professionals, advocates, and concerned citizens play a critical role in providing hope and healing to survivors and creating a safer environment for everyone. And whereas during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we remember victims who have lost their lives, support those who have survived, and provide hope for those that still experiencing abuse. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed that I, Jennifer Massey, Mayor of the City of St. Helens, do hereby declare the month of October 25 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and urge all citizens to become aware of the tragedy of domestic violence and support efforts of those working to prevent it. I further encourage the community to stand with the survivors, promote healthy relationships, and work towards the elimination of all forms of domestic abuse. In witness whereof I have undue set my hand and caused the seal of City of St. Helens to be affixed this City Hall on the day of October 15th, 2025. And I'm going to sign that. And I also want to thank Janelle for being here at the last, I think you were at the work session.
Yeah.
And giving us statistics and informing us and educating us more so on domestic violence. What you're doing is very valuable in the community. And I'll talk later, but there is a domestic violence walk happening this weekend on the 18th, I believe 10 a.m. at McCormick Park. I'm going to reiterate that. But if you can show up and support, a really sad situation. And so thank you for showing up and making us more aware.
Thank you. It's my privilege to be able to spread the word. So I'm honored to be able to still have a voice. So I brought you guys swag bags.
Very nice. Go ahead and come up.
Kathy.
Yeah, I mean, just you can give it to her. Yeah. I'm gonna add a context here, but kind of felt
Tailored for sexual assault response, which is, and then the purple is for domestic violence, but obviously they go hand in hand. So my nonprofit is all teal. So
thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
I love it when citizens come in and they can share information like this with us.
Thank you.
Yes, anytime. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So visitor comments. So now is the time for visitor comments. The visitor comment period is an essential part of local government meetings. Please address your comments to the mayor and the city council members. The city council will take all input into consideration. Please limit your share to 3 minutes or less. And observant to Oregon open meeting laws, this isn't a time for dialogue, but it's a time for us to listen to you. Responses to visitor comments, if needed, will be published at the next city council regular session packet. Please provide contact information on the sign-in sheet in the back of the room in case staff needs to get a hold of you for any clarifications. And when you come up, please state your name for the record. And with that, we'll take the first public comment.
I don't mind going first. I have to get back to family night. Hello, Mrs. Mayor and Council, Holcomb, the Klondike. Hi, everybody. I feel like we're always the same people here. So, I just wanted to share some of the chatter among business owners on our favorite topic, Halloween Town. Kind of surprised more business owners aren't here, because they have a lot to say. So, Chris, who owns Plymouth Pub, came out to me and a number of the other restaurants 2 weeks ago in kind of a urgent way, feeling like business was down, and sort of through her own radical self-reliance, organized us to create a pamphlet and a map with all the restaurants on it, because this hadn't been done as it had been done in the past, and she felt like it was having an effect. And she had some other ideas as well. Business owners like talk a lot about what could be done better. All sorts of things. I just want to like summarize a couple things that I generally hear from business owners. We do meet once a month at Haley's place in the bank. There's a general sentiment with Halloween Town that we would love an opportunity to meet with Treadway well in advance of the festival. Just for two reasons. One, to find out what they're planning and to have an opportunity to have input, which could include participating. Even just having a shot at discussing being sponsors for the event. You look at the sponsor thing, there's just one local business on it. We don't really have engagement with Treadway. So we would love an opportunity. And I think as their bosses, they are your vendor. It would be helpful if you facilitated, encouraged, mentioned it. Because often the line is talk to Treadway, but it's kind of hard for us to sort of manage them. So that's one thing. The other, and I think that would resolve a lot of things like what Chris was experiencing. Like, I think Brittany, what's her name? Brittany, they turned on a dime, they helped out, they participated. So it really was about just channels of communication more in advance. And the other thing that would be helpful is just to have more time. And as their employers, and you could manage them as a vendor and say, we would like the special use permit to go in on this date. And what I would recommend is June. That way you have a month to review it. And then at the end of July, you say, this is approved. And we know by the beginning of August, 7 weeks out from the festival, what to communicate to the community, the thousands of people coming to our businesses. We know what to plan for with our staff. We know what to purchase and when. So those two things would be so helpful. Again, just advanced communication with local businesses and an earlier special use permit deadline, if you would, or recommended timeframe. That's all. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Next public comment, please.
My name is Rob Hamilton. I've been a resident of St. Helens for my whole life. And I'd like to share a few things. I've seen a lot of things come and go, and some of them leave a mess. And I would hope that we don't add to what we have going on in the sewer plant right now with 800,000 metric yards of hazardous waste. We can mitigate what we have and perhaps even redo the lagoons so that there'll be a future there. It's not going to be cheap and you're not going to have cash flow from Portland, but dealing with Portland it's gonna leave your legacy blemished, in my opinion. I'd like to see this community last a lot longer than what we're headed to. I don't know, I've worked with Aaron Kunders. I used to ride the lagoon boat and go out and fix the different aerators that were going on. So I'm familiar with what's out there. I also worked for the port and they had leased some time to, or building to a contractor that was making circuit boards. And they were dumping the waste into the surface water drain. And it was killing the primary lagoon because the copper sulfate or whatever it was that they were using. And Aaron caught it the day that they left the drain on too long, and the ping pong balls that they were using to keep the material from evaporating and keeping the smell down went down there and hit the lagoon. They had several hundred ping pong balls one day, and that's what gave them the proof to shut them down. So there's more in that wastewater than human waste, and it's been going on for 50 years. I remember when that was a big hole in the ground and they dumped sand in there for months, it seemed like, as a kid. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Thanks.
Next comment, please.
Oh, yeah, Brady Preham. Yeah, Treadway's leveling up. Clearly not. You don't need 30 days for Treadway to come up with the reports. The local businesses are hurting. I don't think they're gonna meet their numbers as we have just heard from a local restaurant. And you certainly don't need a month to get the numbers off. The account that their account money comes in and out of is a city-owned account. You can give a report immediately. You could tell how well they've done so far this month. Why that they need a month, I don't understand. And don't think that it's needed. And as far as people and what they're saying, this is a review that was posted online, which then Treadway, I believe, deleted. They do delete most of their negative comments. Halloween has become so commercialized since we were there 2 years ago. I like some of the aspects that are new this year, but honestly just relish the cute small town of 2 years ago. They didn't have some of our favorites, like the mermaid, the cool tent with the Halloween decorations, the unicorn horses, the ferry ride to Sand Island with the scavenger hunt. All are missing in lieu of people with stands to sell. Sell our trinkets. Plus you now have to pay for parking. There's long lines. Halloween Town lost its appeal. We made the best of it and enjoyed our time, but we don't think we'll ever come back. Those are what people are saying. Again, you can pretend that that's not the case and renew their contract, but I'm telling you, the vendors that are local are hurting. They are not doing better. They have not leveled up. And, but I think that's the plan. Right, Jessica? You don't like Halloween Town. You've said that you don't like it. So is the plan that they're going to, you said that to me personally, you've told me that before, and that your constituents don't like it. So is the plan for them to fail? And then you can just say, oh, this is an event we shouldn't have. Because you're the one that's supposed to be in charge of tourism, right? So to me, if that's what the case is, and the idea is for this event to fail, I think that's wrong. There are vendors that our local business community depends on Halloween Town to be successful. And the fact that it's not is going to hurt them. Before Halloween Town, our storefronts down here were empty. I don't want to see that happen again. We need it to be a successful event. And whether it's Treadway or not, we need to get somebody else if they can't do the job.
Comment?
Adam St. Pierre, I personally do not like Halloween Town. I actually did personally go down there this year for the first time and partake in it. I don't know what to compare it to previously because I never went. I did do a little bit of 3 minutes of research when I didn't make a public comment last week. And I looked for the top 3 Halloween haunted houses in the country. I never saw St. Helens mentioned in there once. Matter of fact, I never saw St. Helens haunted house mentioned anywhere other than the fact that it existed for the last 6 or 7 years and it was always by a local, TV station, radio station, something like that. Nothing significant, but that's not what we were told last week. But what I also remember is last year, we were also told that we would never get any kind of talent back in this community again. First time I've ever gone to Halloween Town, I don't know what the lines normally were like, but I know when I walked around the corner all 3 times, at different times during the course of the day, there was a line around the corner waiting for signatures from the talent. Mind you, I don't know who these people are. I don't watch movies. I don't care about Halloween. So, but I guess that just comes to the credibility of the person making these claims. But I also know a little bit, something about talking to Holcomb here and the other business owners, and the first weekend was very disappointing to them. They didn't see the numbers, the crowds that they wanted to see. But they actually thought what it might have been was the best organization that they've ever had during Halloween Town because all the people riding the trolley in got dropped off in the back, which funneled them into the vendors row. That was probably by design because there's expectations put on a contractor. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Halloween Town's supposed to be for our businesses. So I don't know what happened. Apparently Holcomb said that somebody made a map. Chris from Plymouth. I heard that. Didn't know it was fact or not. Second weekend was better. Following weekend after that was even better. Each time I talk to Chris, because that's where I go on a very regular basis, the businesses increased through each time. Not only do I talk to the business owners, but I talk to the employees at the local restaurants. And one of them said they had their best single day ever as a server at one of the local restaurants. Tip wise and the attitude of the guest was better. And of course, I've also talked to other people saying that they thought there's too many bars for Halloween Town, that 5 bars was excessive, that should be business that should be brought to our local businesses, our local, taverns, our local, Columbia Brewing over there, or Plymouth or Klondike. Pig House Bud would have liked to have their liquor license, but apparently there was a mix up there, something happened. But, I don't know if Treadway's the answer. I do know that overall, I think the employees, the staff is a lot happier this year than they have in the past. And I think the businesses as a whole were a little concerned the first week, but after that, they've been a lot more appreciative and accepting. So thank you.
Any other comments? Do we have anybody online? All right, we will move on to ordinance. We have first reading, ordinance number 3318, ordinance to amend the St. Helens Municipal Code, chapter 13.0, utility service administration. That is the first reading. We don't need to do anything. Resolution, we have resolution number 2062, a resolution adopting a universal fee schedule and superseding resolution 2048.
Make a motion that we approve resolution number 2062 is read.
We have a motion second, Counselor Sunny.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
I'm aye as well. We have approve and or authorize for signature. Number 4, new agreement with Columbia County for permit data. Completion services, what? We get them.
I move we approve and or authorize for signature. Or
Second,
any discussion?
discussion.
If you'd like to know what the data compilation
Yeah, we can.
services is, that is a GIS service as the county. We provide their information, they keep one map and they upload it.
I went through it, but I didn't really have clarification on what it was.
Did not come up with a work session.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Counselor President
Aye.
Chilton. Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Number 5, issue a notice of intent to extend Treadway Events and Entertainment LLC for 1-year extension to the agreement and submit an amendment to the agreement for city council approval. And I think we actually have a different, do we have a motion?
Yep.
Okay.
I was just about to say it. I make a motion for the city to issue a notice of intent to extend the agreement and negotiate an amendment to extend the agreement to submit to city council for approval.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion, second, and discussion. So we have motion, second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
I'm aye as well. And I just also, I know that we're done voting, but we're doing a letter, like letter of intent. It's a notice of intent. We're not signing the contract right now that we have till December 31st.
Correct. This is a non-binding notice of
Correct.
intent that's required in the contract. And then the next step is for the city and Treadway to get together and discuss the prior term and develop an amendment for next year.
Allow us to review all the financials and other things that come along with this. Okay, just want to be clear before it gets out there that it is not, we're not signing the contract right now. Appointments to boards and commission. Number 6, appointment to the Parks and Trails Commission.
Make a motion to appoint Ashley Stanley to the Parks and Trails Commission.
We'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton. Aye. Counselor Hurst. Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I as well. Consent agenda for approval. Number 7, city council minutes dated September 17th, September 22nd, and October 1st, 2025. For 8, requests for proposals of human resource professional services. 9, OLCC license, and number 10, accounts payable bill list.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda items 7 through 10 as read.
Second that.
Okay, if we have a motion, we have second, Counselor Sundin.
Question.
Oh, go ahead.
You get that license for the roof there?
That's what I was curious about. I would assuming that it's in this list. I didn't see it on there because I wasn't.
Are you talking about
It's good.
Yeah.
on there?
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
so that license is included in here.
It
They were
is.
also requesting us to waive the fees.
Oh.
Was there an unusual response time for this license request? That maybe we didn't get to it in time?
Is this on the, are you guys at that topic yet? I think that's
No,
number 9.
because that's in question on whether or not I want to approve that license.
Oh, I see. You were approving all the consent agenda items. You can
Yeah.
pull that item off. You can
And
approve
separate it
the
to
other,
discuss it?
yeah,
Okay.
approve
I
consent.
put that to my general work, I put that as a note to the general work session item. Yeah.
Well, actually, I guess I personally would still want to vote on the license as normal, but discuss waiving the fee.
You can do it that way.
Okay.
So can we just pull that one out and then?
I recommend that you go ahead, because you want to approve the license from what I understand. So go ahead and follow through with this motion, and then under work session action items, you can talk about it.
Discuss.
Okay, I put that on there for my, a topic to bring up.
We're all thinking.
Yeah, we're definitely thinking about it, but I wanted. Perfect. Okay, so just to clear, we have a motion, we have a second. Right? So Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. All right, now we're on to work session items. Is it pig, cow, spud?
Mhm.
All right, so now can we have a discussion on what happened with our OLCC license?
Yeah, their license application came in on September 2nd. Going from memory here, which would not have been enough time to hit the first meeting in September. It perhaps would have been second meeting or the first meeting in October, and it didn't hit either of those. So it's been now 6 weeks delayed.
Is there a reason why I didn't hit either of those? I'm just wondering, is that out of the normal? Was there an abnormal wait time?
Usually move through pretty quickly. I'm not sure what whose desk.
What is the process for that? Where do they go once they're submitted?
They're submitted through utility billing.
You still gotta get approval from OLCC.
Right after their.
Have we identified where that gap was on why it didn't? I think what Council President Chilton is, we want to
I'm
identify.
just wondering if, for example, if Plymouth Pub submitted their OLCC license for this year and it took a month and they didn't come in and ask for, us to waive the fees. What's reasonable Because we can't waive everybody's fees, only if, I feel like only if we did something that delayed their response time, would I even consider it, in my opinion. That's just doing business.
I don't know that we have the term reasonable defined, but usually within a month. Just because of the timing of the applications come in and the workflow and telebilling, sometimes there's lines all day,
How much is the fee?
$100.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it took over a month.
We missed two opportunities for it to be
Second.
on
Second,
the
and
agenda.
when? September, we had two meetings.
Yeah, there was a meeting on the third,
Third,
which just,
and so they probably missed that one because it was still in the paperwork. And that's the problem I've found. If you don't get it in, figure on the dates and times, then they've got time to do something or look at it, whatever you do.
But it
That's
missed two,
that slot.
but it missed two meetings. We've missed two.
Second one, did it come up in, oh, yeah, this one now.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
we missed two meetings that can,
So it should have come up on the next meeting after this.
should have been at least on the last meeting.
we had two other opportunities for it to show up, agenda.
The first one they missed by a day. I mean,
Yeah, but we've had two meetings since then.
right.
So
No,
And he says it takes about a month, so really, it did take longer than normal.
Yeah.
In this case, I would say.
Are there others in that same time frame though?
Not that I'm aware of.
it seems like this is an anomaly.
Start selling, or do they still have to go through LCC? Yeah, it goes on to LCC.
It goes on to L, yeah, it goes, still has to go to back to L.
Well, let's go moving.
I personally think we should waive the fee. I think that we somewhere unintentionally possibly dropped the ball. We had two council meetings. It did not make it on. That I don't want to set a precedent, but it seems like it wasn't just the next meeting there.
I also
wanna
think
be-
if they took the time to come in here and request it, and as you can see, we usually have the same people here all the time, so it's nice to see other people come in
Yeah.
and talk to us.
And we want to be a community partner as well.
I'll make a motion that we waive the fee for this OLCC license for Pig Cow Spud.
Can you clarify what the fee is that you're waiving?
$100.
Okay, so clarify that in your motion. It's
I'll
the
make a motion
city.
that we waive the fee, which is $100 for the OLCC license fee that we charged to Pig Cow Spud.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion. We have second, Counselor Dean.
Aye.
Council President Hilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
I'm aye as well. Okay, any other, we have any other, we do.
Yeah.
We have the position, right? We have Gunderson.
I have that one, yes.
So and it's a work session item that has to be added to the agenda?
Well, good to read it.
Maybe
Well, you wanna
formally add
introduce
it,
it
yeah,
first,
introduce
yeah.
it to the agenda.
I don't have it.
Just say what it is.
It's, well, it's the
you
police,
don't
say-
have-
yeah, I don't have any.
You don't even have.
I don't have anything on it, so I don't wanna, so basically, we're talking about the police station at 1771 Columbia Boulevard, and we're basically talking about waiving the due diligence conditions per section 2B for the purchase and sale agreement on Columbia Boulevard. Sorry, I didn't have anything to actually read.
You're adding that
We're
work
adding that
session
to-
item
yes, correct,
to the regular session agenda for approval.
correct.
No. I make a motion that the city waive the diligence conditions per section 2B of the purchase and sale agreement with 1771 Columbia Boulevard LLC and execute the ground lease per section 2C.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Counselor President Shelton. Aye. Counselor Hubbard. Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. All right, I think that's it for our work session items. Actually, no, sorry, I digress. The other one, I think is more of a consensus, but I did want to bring it up, was the invitation for me to join the Columbia County's Transmission and Load Planning Task Force that was discussed today. So I don't know if we need to vote on that or we just get a general consensus. Me participating within that planning task force. Consensus is good. Look at you, you're the lead.
So I think you could vote on it because it delegates you officially to participate on this, in this board. Or I guess it's not a board, you're just attending the meetings? No, I think.
I think
it's like an advisory council.
Yeah.
So,
Consensus.
perfect. Do I have the consensus from council to participate on this? Yes? Okay, perfect. I will do so. All right, that is now, I believe, the end of the work session items. Then we have council member reports. Counselor Sundin, did we get a history lesson today?
I wasn't planning on.
Dang it.
It's been a long afternoon. I don't have a lot. I want to thank our law enforcement officers. The good that they do. I met with our chief and police lieutenant last week and got a little update on some of the things they've been up to. So as usual, they've been busy. And this week we had our Parks and Trails Commission meeting, so they're looking forward to our joint meeting next week. So please remember that, keep that on your schedule. So this week they recommended that Ashley Stanley be appointed to fill the vacancy in the Parks and Trails Commission. She's also active with the Scappoose Bay watershed, so very interested in helping out in the parks. Some of the items they're planning on discussing with us next week, they're talking about some changes to their bylaws. They want to talk about their parks assessment tool that I've mentioned before, where they go into the parks and can document any safety concerns or things like that. And then also the Milton Creek Woodland Reserve project that they've been working on that goes along the creek there. So those are a couple of things you can look forward to hearing more about. That's it.
Council President Chill?
I only had one thing I wanted to talk about. I haven't talked about softball in a long time. It used to be one of my fans' favorite things for me to talk about with softball, so figured I would go ahead and bring it back. Softball has wrapped up, adult softball league has wrapped up in St. Helens, and for those that don't know, we have a co-ed league that plays at McCormick, a men's league that plays at McCormick, and a women's league that plays at Campbell. And so I want to give a shout out to all the city staff that take care of the parks and the fields and the bathrooms during that time. The families that, you know, participate in that really enjoy the fields and the condition that they're in. So I appreciate the staff for that. And I also wanted to give a shout out to the sponsors who sponsor these teams. In particular, my sponsor was Crooked Creek for this second year. So thank you, Crooked Creek, and all the other businesses that sponsor things like that so that people have something to do. Enjoy it.
Awesome. How many people are in the league?
Usually there's like in women's, there's about 7 teams, and then co-ed they have to split it up to A and B, so there's a lot of teams, probably like 20.
So there's a lot of change.
Yeah, there's a lot of demand for softball, adult softball, kids softball. So we have to share with the kids too, so then it's, you know, we're leaving the fields as they're coming in, and there's a lot of that going on.
I love it. Counselor Hubbard?
Not much, the early stages, the police station and the reservoir, so. What happened?
This station's gonna keep you busy, so.
Yeah, I missed the first couple of meetings because I was at the coast and I couldn't zoom in because I'm inept at this thing. I got my IT.
We got a good update today, so it's good.
I don't have anything this week.
All right, so want to start off again, as I always do, thanking Kathy and Lisa for everything they do for the council and the city and having everything prepared. They do a tremendous job. Also want to thank the rest of the city staff. Everything that they do every day to keep this city going. Your efforts are sincerely appreciated. I also want to reiterate the domestic violence walk that I spoke to earlier today. That's going to be the Saturday, October 18th at 10 a.m. at McCormick Park. Show up and show support. That's a great thing to do. Also had the library board meeting this week, which was awesome because I did it holding my granddaughter. So that was pretty special. But I just wanted to run over some items. Hopefully I took accurate notes. If not, well, then you'll have to read the meeting minutes, but I did the best I could holding a baby. So they have a special collection launch that they're going to be doing. So the library's created a new local authors and special collection section with cataloging underway, and they're gonna try to debut that in February of 2026 if all goes well. They have a historic digitization project, I don't say that fast, in partnership with a museum, apparently. The staff are pursuing grant funding to digitize historic editions of the Chronicle for long-term preservation and online public access. Staffing update, they are going to be filling a assistant library position. So Karina, she is pursuing other things at this time, but apparently she does want to get her degree and to be a librarian at this point. So she's going to be missed, and there's a recruitment process in place. Programs and community engagement, they have a lot of core programs, including youth reading, genealogy research, makerspace, and that continues to see strong community participation and positive feedback. Grants, there was a lot of conversation about grants. They are hustling for grants right now. So the library is actively exploring new grant and fundraising opportunities to maintain momentum. So as we all know, there's some stuff going on broader state and federal funding uncertainties. And so they're not sitting back, taking a back seat. They're doing everything they can to find grants and money opportunities and fundraising things as well. And the board remains proactive. They brought on we had approved an appointment for the new library board member who was there and present this time, Miss Newton, I believe. And so they're just looking at enhancing the learning opportunities at the library. So that was a good meeting. And it was my, like I said, granddaughter's first public meeting, so it's kind of exciting, a month old. I did get a little pressure to get her a library card already, so we're gonna work on that. And the last thing I have is that, and I'm gonna invite Council President Chilton or City Administrator John Walsh to chime in and discuss as well. But we did have a meeting. We got an opportunity to go over to the St. Helens School District office, and we got to welcome the new superintendent and assistant superintendent. And welcome them to the community. It had been the first time that we ever got to go over and have an in-person meeting. And then, you know, some of the purpose or the purpose of that conversation was to really find out what they're doing with the Ross property. It's up for sale right now for, I believe, approximately $700,000. And it sits in between two of our parcels that they have about 10.76 acres basically, and it sits in the middle of our 3.4 acres and our 13.72 acres. And a long time ago, Council President Chilton had a conceptual plan on having a possible sports complex in that area that we could partner with the school district, that it would definitely have some benefits, not only to the livability, but also income generating, a split revenue share that could be put in place possibly. And so we had the meeting. It is up for sale right now, but we're hoping that maybe message gets to some of the board members that they can maybe start also exploring this opportunity, that maybe it would be a good community partnership with the city. I know John has already started reaching out, and I hope he'll speak up maybe possibly a little bit about some of the things that we're looking at. But the idea, at first I was thinking, man, we should sell this property. It's like, let's just get rid of it. But then when I started digging into like a modern multi-field sport complex, I mean, it was pretty much an epiphany. So on actually the revenue, and I played sports as well, but when we start looking at that, the low maintenance of an actual field, you know, there's a cost and impact to putting it together, but having a shared vision and strategic alignment. So when you start looking at a sports complex, and in this case, it would have, you know, the conceptual idea would be 2-3 baseball fields, a soccer field, there's a pitch and chip there that potentially, you know, could be that or something else. City of Newburgh, other places have it, but you could start bringing in revenue from 250,000 to 600,000, and you can see them up to over $1 million, depending on how much people actually want to put into like scheduling and filling up those complexes and running those events. So what we're hoping is that, you know, one-time sale is like $700,000, and it's gone forever, right? Where we have a great opportunity, maybe if we could come together and start looking at other funding, grants and stuff like that to put this together, we could actually have a revenue share between the school district and the city, potentially. Again, this is a conceptual idea. Would you like to weigh in on any of this? Because this was really your idea. I just honestly started running with it because I thought it was a great idea and we're always looking for money.
I think you really, got into a lot of the nitty gritty details, which is what you're good at. So I appreciate that about you. But the idea is really to look at things that we can do that are gonna enhance the quality of life for the residents of St. Helens. And we can continue to build housing and we can continue to, focus on the growth of the city. But at some point, we have to really look at and we have to prioritize, the health and safety and the benefits to the people that live here. We need to take care of the citizens of St. Helens and the future of St. Helens. So to me, it's more than just a revenue source. It's really enhancing the quality of life for the kids that live here, the future generations that live here, and giving them opportunities to do things in their free time that are positive. So, I mean, there's so much there that it's just, and being able to add that type of, a park or something versus apartments or housing in that area, I think is really important to that, that neighborhood. There's not a lot of parks around that area, and we're gonna see the city growing in that direction. So I think there's just like, this is legacy decisions that we're looking at right now. They're the legacy and the future of St. Helens.
So anyway, that is kind of what we're up to. It is already, listed. John, do you want to chime in at all about any of this?
Yeah, just maybe a little bit of history, because it's, we've worked with the school district for longer than I've been here, and for sure. The property that they're looking to liquidate was actually the city's at one point during the era of the hospital district. There was some land swapping that went on to make the hospital site doable. So that's interesting. And our fast forward a little bit, our parks master plan, going through an update there, we recognize a pretty significant deficiency for park area space on the west side of the highway. And I think we all knew that. There was already a lot of talk about shortage of fields, and the Parks Commission spent a lot of time picking and choosing who got to play where and when, at least on the city facilities. And this property is big enough combined with the cities that you could do a really regional, meaningful 28 acres regional park there that would. That's what we, and working with the school board over the years, had contemplated and shared exhibits and things of that nature. Then fast forward, where everybody's having a tough time with budget and money, and they're looking to liquidate. But hopefully we can find a way to make it whole. So
Yeah, it's 27.48 acres approximately, right? So like to sell the land, like generally it'd be around 700, but like to retain that value, it goes to 1.2 or 2.5 million over 10 years.
And the school district only owns 10 acres of that.
They own 10.62, so it's ours goes the 3.3 acres. And that's where all the basically utilities, then we have the school district has the 10.76 acres, and then we have the 13.72 acres. And there are a lot of different grant opportunities because of what this is that, and you could probably talk a bit about that, but what I found for funding opportunities is state, federal, private funding, obviously, but then we have like Oregon Parks, we have Travel Oregon, there's a whole bunch of different grants that this is what they do. So I don't know, I would just hoping that maybe there's board members that hear this and maybe it's a conceptual idea that they maybe take a pause and look at as well, because once that property's gone, it's gone. Anyway, that is what we were up to, and that's to bring that public, because that's something that we're conceptualizing. So, And the last thing, because I don't shy away from things, that John, there was a comment that was made earlier on a text message that about somebody had said they didn't trust you. Obviously, that was me that had said that, and that was in January. And I want to thank you for the last 9 months that I think that we've been working really well together, and I do trust you, and I appreciate the relationship, the working relationship we have going forward. So I don't shy away from things. So I just want to make that public. And I think all of us up here, the way that this council is collaborating, the way that, you know, there's communication and what we're doing here, I think is pretty phenomenal for city council, how we're functioning. So that takes all of us. And so want to appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
With that, this meeting is adjourned.